Hey, thanks so much for clicking on this video and welcome to the Haves and the Have-Nots review here on YouTube. If you're a fan of Tyler Perry, you've come to the right place. Be sure to click that subscribe button as well as the bell notification icon. That way you don't miss out on any new content on the channel. And also check me out on these social media platforms, and links in the description below will lead you to my Twitter, Instagram, Facebook group, and Facebook page. Once again, thanks for joining in and enjoy the video. Alright, have and have not fans, to be honest, considering I uploaded a few videos this morning and I did a live stream earlier today until YouTube froze on me, but I didn't plan on doing another video. But just going off the comments on a lot of my videos, looking on Facebook at a bunch of posts from different people, and really the video I did that I thought would be a runaway video in terms of interest because, well, I was intrigued. It was the video I did about, is Veronica creating another Melissa? And, you know, Laura is going to be the name of the female character. I believe Cameo Sherrill is the actress who will portray Veronica's, I guess you could say, new pet project for Jeffrey. And I was going through the comments on that thing. My gosh. Now, overall, the video, you know, in terms of likes versus dislike ratio, is pretty good. There are way more likes than dislikes, but going down to the comment section, it is not a pretty place. Now, keep in mind, I was shocked by this due to the fact that Veronica, well, as I've been saying before, is the star of the show. Kind of like, I feel like when Candace sent Malik after her mom, a huge amount of Candace fans jumped ship and were done with her. But with Veronica, even though some people have been saying they've gotten tired of her, the fact she's never paid for any of the crimes or any of the misfortune she's brought into others, she's never got any comeuppance. Slowly but surely, more and more people were leaving the Veronica train. But with this video, I clearly see that there are a lot of people that cannot stand this bitch anymore. My gosh. So this video is really talking about the fact that, does the show recycle too many storylines? I feel like that's an obvious yes. I think that even though I said in my episode review, I really loved, not liked, but I loved the episode Three's a Crowd. It had a lot of elements of season one. Let me just say the earlier seasons in terms of the dynamic, character interactions, the story. I really loved the standoff between Candace and Catherine. We haven't seen that in a while. Her even bringing up number 9. Man, come on now, speak. But then another thing to think about is, if you want to flip the script, the opening of the episode being Catherine and Broderick, those two talking in bed and kind of like setting up their agreement, really reminded me of season 1 between Jim and Candace. So that's just a couple of examples of season 1 vibes. But the thing that's really annoyed a lot of people, including myself, and as I said time and time again, I am just a fan of the show like everyone else. I just started the YouTube channel, so I come up here and I don't sugarcoat anything. If I don't like something, damn right I'm going to talk about it. But if there's something amazing, of course I'm going to talk about it. And then there are other times where sometimes the storyline is good or it's mediocre but not terrible, and then I give my opinions on how I feel it should have been written, because it's easy to get on here and just rant and rave about how I hate something and this is terrible, but it's another thing to offer constructive criticism or even just a differing opinion on, hey, the end result of how Tyler Perry got this character from point A to point F is great, but I feel like it could have been, you know, changed around a couple of ways to make it better. So just keep that in mind whenever I do these kind of videos. I do not have the time to sit here and just go recite all the recycled storylines on this show. I'm talking about scenarios where one character goes to jail or is in a coma or is being blackmailed or is having an affair or is put under investigation, gets stalked, whatever you want to put it. And then another character will have that exact same storyline either at the same time, in the back half of the same season, or they experience it in the next season. I mean, with Veronica, I've said this
plenty of times where I want more backstory on the character so we can get more, I guess you could say, depth to her instead of her just going from one crazy scheme to the next. I mean, even though, you know, she went from having cars blown up, setting cars on fire, throwing bricks through windows, destroying property, blackmailing people. The one thing I can say about Veronica is it's almost like she never does the same trick twice. It's kind of like the joke about Steve Harvey doesn't wear the same suit twice. Even though I wish they gave more depth to Veronica's character, having her mom show up, learning more about her backstory and her history. At the same time, you just didn't know what this bitch was going to do next. But for her to once again orchestrate a female to come into her house and most likely set up Jeffrey to get her pregnant and all that other good stuff, it's played out. Because if Jeffrey falls for the same shit again, that's going to make him even dumber than Benny. And my gosh, that is the furthest thing from a compliment. Let me just put it that way. With Hannah, that's why I said it was a breath of fresh air when she went ahead and accepted Catherine's offer to do part-time at the hotel as supervisor of the staff there, just to make sure, you know, not cracking the whip, but giving them tips on how to upkeep the hotel, make sure everybody's doing their job and things of that nature. And she graciously accepts. It's like, well, yeah, that's great. I can use the extra money. The quick response was so unlike Hannah for the past several seasons. Not wanting to take the house, not wanting to work for Catherine again. It's kind of like, well, what are you supposed to do? You have nowhere to go. You have no money. Then you look at Candace, and once again, I mean, there's a difference between a recycled storyline and then a storyline that's been drawn out for way too long. That's describing my thoughts with Candace and the whole money thing about this is my money and all that other bull crap. Her being stuck on this $8.8 million, it is not like Candace whatsoever. Like, it's one thing to get money and then bomb and just move on to the next thing. But her being stuck on this particular money, knowing that she's screwed. Check out my video about how, what did I say? Candace's plan is doomed to fail. I go into detail as to why it makes absolutely no sense. Even if Hannah and Benny give up the money, there's no way she's going to be able to have it in an account because it will be blocked either by a federal hold or the bank will not allow her to have a new bank account with them because Lloyd is now aware that Veronica set up an account with Candace. Well, for Candace. And on top of that, Justin is just like a very, very downgraded version of Veronica. Very controlling, obsessive, territorial. Willing to get rid of anyone who stands in his way of getting to Jeffrey. And he is the worst character on the show. He brings nothing to the show. I dare say that even Charles brings more to the show than Justin, and that's only for the sake of Charles has some kind of mystery around him where I don't think he's everything he appears to be. Then you look at Landon. I mean, him pining after Charles is really like Jeffrey pining after Wyatt. Two gay men who are obsessed and in love with a straight man. And even further than that, I mean, I've said it before, Justin is kind of like the version of Jeffrey from season 1. Stalking, well, stalking is a strong word because technically he was his rehab counselor, so he had to go everywhere that Wyatt went. But at the same time, it's like you take season 1 Justin, well, season 1 Jeffrey, dial him up about 15, and that's Justin right now. Then Jim, I mean, I don't even know what to say about Jim. Just literally, none of his plans have worked since he got out of jail. That's about it. Just being an asshole for no reason. That's pretty much it. Wyatt, I mean, that's just like, recycled is not even the right word. Because he's just been in an endless loop. I'm recovering addict. I'm going to drink and do drugs. I'm going to get into some trouble and get into jail. Then I get out of jail. I'm still an asshole, ungrateful. Then I want to try to get high again. And it just makes no sense whatsoever. It's like the same. That's why I can see why a lot of fans have quit the show. Because it's the same damn story every time. And it's becoming like Tyler Perry movies. And that's a bad thing because Tyler Perry movies, for the most part, are very predictable. But what made the haves and the have-nots stand out is the fact that it was intriguing, the mystery, the dialogue, the characters, all that stuff was great. The intertwined storylines. But when you just set up, it's one thing. Okay, it's one thing to have. Okay, and I'm just making up scenarios here. Don't take it too seriously. Okay, we're going to put Benny in jail for the first half of season 1. He's the son of Hannah. Okay, but then in the next season, for the back half of the season, we're going to put Wyatt in jail. He's the son of Catherine and Jim. See what I mean? It's one thing where you take different characters but give them the same storylines but at different times, as opposed to the same character being given the same storyline every season. Wyatt is the prime example of that. Like I just said, recovering addict, agitated, gets pushed to the point of going back on the stuff he was on, either overdoses or goes back into rehab, gets into trouble, goes to jail, gets arrested, gets out somehow thanks to his parents, still is ungrateful, has to be under constant watch. By some means he gets out, finds drugs, gets into more trouble, and it's the same thing over and over again. Benny is just, once again, I really do hope they pay off the whole mental thing, because him being off life support is probably what jacked up his mind. Him being this damn dumb is just inexcusable at this point. I mean, like I said before, him trusting Candace, even though there is a laundry list. No. There's a there's a list as long as a CVS receipt as to why you should not trust Candace. All the time she's let you down. If I'm just thinking off the top of my head, I'm not going to sit here and try to think of it all, but the one time on the show that Candace really came through for Benny was back during season 1 when they were about to have the house foreclosed on. But if memory serves, what was it, like $50,000 that needed to be given in order to save the house from being foreclosed on? And she came at the last minute. And after Benny gave her a long, drawn-out speech that was well-deserved, pretty much telling her ass off about how I always stick my neck out for you and you let me down. But she gave him the money, went to the bank, house was saved until Quincy blew it up. But basically, then you look at, what was it, when his second house was about, well, not his second house, but his first house that Candace got him and the tow company about to be foreclosed on. He's sitting on the porch at the last minute, thinking Candace will come through. She didn't. Ended up losing the house in the tow company. Candace tells the truth about everything in regards to how she got the money, the blackmail, the criers. Then gets to the point where he's had enough, found out that Malik was sent after Hannah thanks to Candace. Then found out she was lying to his face about the money not being his, and a man got stabbed over it, unbeknownst to him, got killed. Then all of a sudden, oh, I'm not going to trust you anymore. You broke my heart. And she tries to throw a story about Benny. He'll kill me. And then he calls her out for the bullshit and walks off. Now all of a sudden, I don't know, Mom. Maybe somebody is after her. Kill Benny. Just kill him. So all I'm saying is this, and I want to stop right here because like I said, I can continue going with this, but Tyler Perry definitely needs to step up the writing game, because this is look, the show is apparently still getting a great amount of viewers. That's all well and good. I can definitely see the show going on past season 7, but to avoid the show becoming a Family Guy, a Simpsons, or another SpongeBob SquarePants, I know those are odd examples, but I'm talking about television shows that are simply made just for money. They're made because they still get views. They're made because, you know, kids buy the toys and whatnot, and adults love the DVDs and whatnot. And it's just on the air to be on the air. You can tell when the show has been well crafted, when the creator or creators definitely put the time, love, attention, and care in order to create a quality show. But when you're retelling the same damn story every time, it's insulting. Because you're not allowing these characters to grow. You're not allowing these characters to give the viewer something new. Just to have Candace try to con somebody else. Candace is like another prime example. One thing about Candace, though, it's like the fact that she doesn't learn her lesson. It's like anytime she plans something down to the second gets whatever prize whether it be money, cars, or whatever. She ends up losing it all, then comes up with another plan for revenge to get even more money. And instead of cashing in her chips when she has the chance, she's too damn arrogant, loses it all, and then the cycle repeats itself. But at the same time, I admired her tenacity as compared to her being like a whiny bitch now, going on about some money that she can't even get her hands on, even if Hannah and Benny gave it to her. So I will say that in the next episode after Charles leaves, I could definitely see Candace trying to go at Hannah even harder, because she figures this money is going to be her only escape route to get away from Charles. Because if she doesn't have any money, she has no means to survive, meaning that she'll be more likely to have no choice but to take his offer. Just my opinion. But with that being said, folks, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. What are some of the worst storylines in the haves and the have-nots in terms of recycled dialogue, recycled storylines? I mean, Jeffrey just not having a backbone. It's like one episode, Jeffrey's a badass, standing up for himself, not taking anybody's shit. Next thing you know, he's stuttering like a 5-year-old child once again. I'm just done. So let me know your thoughts. Like I said, I'm still watching the show. Don't let this video be like, man, if he's talking bad about the show, I shouldn't watch it. Don't even do that. It's not even like that. I'm just pointing out some things that definitely need to change with the haves and the have-nots.